All right, I want to get into two overarching themes to why the Miami Dolphins are failing. Clearly, individual player performance it's critical. Whether you want to talk about Tua, you want to talk about the offensive line, you want to talk about the receivers, the play calling, you want to talk about McDaniel. I think that football, I know football starts at the higher levels of understanding, and then it boils down to the practicals on the field. And so maybe you want to give a little more credence to McDaniel and his struggles, quote unquote, than the players when I get into this. I want to get into two major themes of lack of flexibility and leverage on the field. And it's these two things that are things I've been speaking about for quite some time. But you're going to see in the first drive is what I'm going to cover, most notably one play, breaking it down and showing you some stuff so you can go and see for yourself the things that I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen it already, it's going to really highlight a lot of stuff. So when a GM gets hired, he has a big idea of how he wants to run his team. He hires coaches to that match his philosophy, and then they all get together and then they drive that philosophy to the strategic level. Now, the philosophical level could be, hey, we want to run a real physical offense and a zone heavy defense, or we like the zero, you want to be very aggressive and we want to just be able to throw that football and we're going to have lots of athleticism, whatever. You got the general idea. Then on the strategic level, it's more dialed in and more specific. It's, hey, we want to run Air Coryell offense. We want to run Tampa 2 defense, whatever. And then the tactical level is that can be applied just like everything else to player types, what you're going to do with a player, the individual play. Hey, you know what? The defensive tackle on the opposing team got a bad knee on the report. We're going to run at him early. Hey, we're going to call this particular play in the A gap, run inside, power lead to attack that knee. You got it. So it's the higher levels, though, that set the tone and dominate the layers below it. And so it's this lack of flexibility and leverage that really is constricting this offense, the play caller, and it's not to alleviate their responsibility, but it's to show that both the OC and the players on this offense they're having their difficulty level raised much higher than it should be because of these two things. This is not to excuse anybody from McDaniel to the players, but simply to say that whoever would be in here would find themselves in a more difficult and non-conducive environment than they should. Savvy? Let's get into this first drive and first play. You can see right away the Texans defense come out. They look like they're bunched up and they're going to have low leverage, but then they drop back to a cover two, creating high leverage. And you can see the linebackers here. They are deep. 5, 4.5, and 6 yards. One of them is a corner back, nickel back. But you can see it's the linebackers and the safeties that set the leverage. And they're playing over leverage at the top, constricting the top of the box. And the linebackers are playing pass clearly. Now, this is a nickel back right here. And so despite them having a lot of guys on the line of scrimmage and press coverage, that nickel back against two tight ends or one tight end, one fullback puts the size, quote unquote, and strength advantage to Miami. You can see the D end is playing wide outside the tight end. This is putting more pressure on the interior, and this is where you need to attack. The defense is giving you this interior area. Now, Tua is playing in pistol look, and I've talked about how sitting in pistol look and shotgun is it's much, much easier to read for anybody in the box looking to see what's going on, that when you get under center and you turn your back to the linebackers, whoever's in the box, that disappearance of the ball causes hesitation. So despite us having the size advantage, despite them playing a higher leverage, it does make it a little more difficult to run the football out of the pistol. But this is still a play where you want to bully these guys off the ball. You got press coverage on the side that makes it a little more difficult to run to the edges. And it should, in theory, though, allow the receivers to beat these guys if they're that good, but the coverage over the top with the two high safeties, it does make it very difficult. So again, you're talking about run inside. They got a linebacker. He's playing to the strong inside side because a tight end is close to the tackle the way he is. It's the strong inside side of the ball. So if they were to run to that side, that inside, it would be the strong side. So the linebacker's there keying that. And then on the other side, which is the strong side for an outside run because the safety is the tight end is stretched out wide, you have the corner. So, but then you have your middle linebacker, your Mike. He's playing at 6 yards, which is very, very deep. That allows him to shoot to the edges and he'll be able to get past any kind of scrum that could be created, but also cover the pass. But because you see this little triangle look from your linebackers in the leverage and that high with your D end spread out wide, and you've got a big look, this is a run in the A or B gap. And that's where the defense is telling you we're giving you our weakness. But we don't seem to do that. We come out with a pass. See a drop right here, and right away you notice by the facing of the secondary cover guys where all the leverage is. You got 5 guys going in routes, but when you look at the route combination, you've got Ingold is one of them, which is not a threat in any way, shape, or form. You've got another tight end. Oh, that's Smythe. You got Smythe drifting out, and then you got Waddle and Hill going inside, trying to attack this middle, and Achane flaring out to the top. But look what all these defenders, 5 guys on 2, they ain't going anywhere. You've got your so you got Ingold totally blanket. He's not going in with a cornerback on him. And then you've got one side so close in their route combinations. And with the facing of the corner, this is an easy read for the dump off for this a cover group to handle. And instantly it's recognized. Instantly the cornerback peels off because he was so close to the line of scrimmage that this allows him to be not 1,000 miles away from Achane, be able to shoot and make an excellent tackle, and then you get a loss. Now, I want you to understand this too. Look at the linebackers. So I like how the lineman is shooting out to try to make it look like maybe it's a run. It's also nice to get there and be physical early. It puts the initiative on the offensive lineman. There's no play action here. And so the linebackers immediately know where they're supposed to go. They know it's a pass and drop. And so despite the good protection, you've got 6 guys, 5.5 at chip and go on 4. And so you have 7 in coverage versus 3. And then the 2 delays, they really don't count. And then so you essentially should have ran the football, try to pick up your 3 or 4 more and be on schedule for second down. But now you throw the football. It's obviously covered, easily handled. And now you're in a negative situation where you're in a 2nd and 13. So you come back and you can see the leverage here again is all out pass. You see how high you got a nickel against a big look with Smythe and Ingold, and they show no respect. Obviously, it's 2nd down and 13, so they're not terrified. They're trying to slow you down. You get you 4 or 5 and be on a 3rd and long. So you get a run inside. It's a nice little run inside, but see how easily they diagnose. There's no biting. There's no concern. It's easy for them to see what's going on. And again, this is the problem with the pistol runs. So you come back, you see the high leverage here. You get phantom blitzers. So this is definitely one, you're in a shotgun, you got to pass. They know what the situation is. And so this is a non-conducive environment when you're off schedule. And things could have been changed simply with a 1st down run. Tua really doesn't have many options. Everything's covered. He goes through his reads, comes back. The only one's open is Achane. You can see the corner at the top here. He comes off just a little bit late, but still, even still, you get the 1st down here, but it's barely makes it. And so this keeps the confidence in the defense. Go look at the protection. And you can see good protection here, but you've got 6 guys to block 4. And so you're expected definitely to get this, but then it limits your options because when you add in 2, it's only 4 guys in routes against 7. All right, so we come back on first down. You see they got the cover high 1. We got 2 wide receivers at the top of the screen with 2 cornerbacks playing tight coverage on them. We've got a big look. So despite the leverage in the box, you've got 2 DBs and 2 tight ends. You've got your D end split out wide. You're under center. You should probably run on this one. But we've called a pass. And the problem is, though, the defense, they know the personnel groupings, and they know that you got Ingold and Smythe, and neither one of them are threats. And so this really puts the confidence level in them to be a little bit aggressive like this and not be concerned about getting beat, because they do have some good DBs on Waddle and Hill. So it should have been a run again on first down. Instead, we do a play action. There's a little biting there. You can see they actually bit because he was under center. They couldn't make the quick and easy read. And Tua throws it, but it's such a clogged window. And you see right here, Tua looks and he sees he wants to hit Hill, who's crossing, but look at his feet. His feet are pointed to a different direction, and so he's a little uncertain about letting that ball off with accuracy. And you also see Carmen getting beat inside, and so he probably should have hit Hill right here, but he didn't trust the throw. Maybe 48 had him concerned. Maybe he was afraid it would be an errant throw. And also 42 is kind of in the way. He doesn't know how he's breaking. And he comes back inside and tries to force it into Waddle, and it goes awry. Time wasn't on his side, despite all the extra blockers. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 4 guys. He's got pressure in his face. This should have been a run. But Miami doesn't seem to have the ability to take advantage of the looks because it's predetermined play calls. Look how high this is off schedule, second down off schedule. Miami's crowded and clogged the box. You got 1 high safety to prevent. Really high. You're talking 20 yards off the ball. And you can see Tua's under center again. You got 2 tight ends in there. You got Ingold and Smythe. There's no concern of the pass game other than Hill and Waddle, and you can focus on that. So they're not afraid of the pass. They're playing very aggressive in their leverage, although they're giving the inside. That same box inside is where we should attack. We get some good blocking. We should, because we are bigger than they are. Nickel versus 2 tight end look, a big look, but it goes nowhere. So the second down off schedule becomes third down way off schedule. And clearly, this should have gotten you some kind of manageable third down. You get a double inside by Brewer and Ingold, Eichenberg, and Eichenberg just can't handle it as usual. And there's good blocking everywhere. It probably wouldn't have got you a lot, but if you picked up 5 or 4, that'd be very manageable. Instead, Achane gets tackled very, very quickly by a very bad block, and he picks up about 2 to 3. And so now, instead of 3rd and 5, you're in 3rd and 7. They clearly understand what's going on. They bring the blitz. Look at the triangles here. There's nowhere for him to go. I think that's Hill, the top over there. He's got 3 guys on him. And then you got inside. Look at it. There's nowhere for it to go. Hill breaks late, but already you get the blitz and the pressure, and then 2 is on the run. So you can see that on the first 3 plays, we barely got the first down because we weren't able to take advantage of what the defense was giving us. We kind of worked in non-conducive leverage. And then in the second drive, again, the same thing. The personnel grouping wasn't enough to threaten their nickel, and we didn't attack them physically with our big look. They got us off schedule on first down, second down. They kind of dared us to pass, but we didn't have the talent. But we had the ability to run because of size, but because of a bad block, we were further off schedule in that third down. And then that allowed them, especially again, because they had us so far off schedule to get in there, be physical and blitz and destroy the play because of the leverage they were able to use and the leverage we didn't take advantage of early on in this drive. And this is the same kind of stuff that happens over and over again. We don't have the ability to get to the line of scrimmage and for Tua to make a call based on what he's seeing in the defense in front of him and attack it. But, obviously another problem is even if we do, we're coming out with personnel groupings that makes it very predictable what we're going to do. And even if we don't do what it looks like we're going to do, we don't have the talent to really attack because Jonnu Smith should have been in there, but he can't block. And so the problem is, again, when you have a tight end that's one-dimensional and then the rest of your group, your tight end group, they're no good, it's a huge tell for the defense to play. They're able to set the leverage. But even if we wanted to, this offensive line doesn't have the ability, as you can see with Eichenberg, but there's other plays where other guys make mistakes. And so this unit the leverage is being dictated by the defense through our inability to make calls with audibles and our inability to have enough talent to be flexible. And so this is one of the biggest issues, and I don't know why. Is it McDaniel? Is it Tua? Is it Greer? I don't know, but I do know that this is a major problem, and it needs to get fixed. And whatever quarterback you had, they would struggle nearly at the same level if they were forced to run plays against defenses that were prepared for it, and even when they ran the plays against defenses that weren't set up for it, they couldn't take advantage. So I hope you enjoyed. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out. Today, by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.